Good evening. Thank you for joining us for this Waterboro Selectmen's meeting. If you would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under announcements this evening, just like to remind everybody that construction's still ongoing on Route 5 for the water main near the area of the elementary school. I also wanted to tell folks that if you haven't taken a ride over by the Waterboro Public Library, it's something that would be well worth your while. And I didn't know Bridget was going to be here this evening, but I'm glad to see her. Bridget McCollum has been working tirelessly on a mosaic for the front entrance of the library, and that was put up, and it is just absolutely stunning. You can see the hard work and the love that has gone into that mosaic, and it's very impressive. David, did you have a picture you were going to put up for us? So I just wanted to so I wanted to acknowledge Bridget tonight and the work that she's done and tell folks that they should be stopping over to the library to take a look at it. And then lo and behold, Bridget came in and she said she actually had a PowerPoint. So Bridget, thank you very much for doing the work there. It is wonderful. So if you want to take a few minutes and talk about your project and show us your pictures, yeah.
Terrific. Well, as Tammy Jo said, my name is Bridget McCallum. I have been a Waterboro Library trustee for 11 plus years now. And in 2010, the plans that we had worked on for 4 years to build a new library came to an end. The economy tanked, earmarks were lost. Our referendum didn't pass, but not by a terrible amount, and even if it had passed, we would never have been able to pull it off. So since then, we've been trying to make our 1925 former East Waterboro Elementary School the best little library around. And between our electronic resources and membership in the Maine e-reader program, we have a huge library in that little building. So I combined two of my loves, mosaic art and the Waterboro Public Library, and designed a mural to go around the entrance. The idea came to me when I went to Texas last fall and the fall before and worked on a 60-foot long by 15-foot high, huge barn-type building wall, and thought, well, if they could do something that big, I could do something around the entrance of the library. First I was thinking the whole front, and then I thought, well, let's not bite off too much. So Dave has I put some pictures together. And this is me the night before we put the pieces up, but it gives you a bit of an idea of the scale. And there are two sort of truncated triangular pieces that came together across the top because they don't make hardy-backer board wide enough. It's only 5 foot wide or 5 foot long, and we had to cover 89 inches. And it seemed really big when I was working on a flat level like this. So the grout's being sealed on the parts, all the parts except the middle. Okay, Dave? Oh, could I borrow? Gordon, do you have your little red thing?
I don't have it with me, I'm sorry.
Oh. Yeah, Tammy Jo's got one. I've got one. Here you go.
What are you going to do? Dueling laser. How do I work it? Press the little button? No?
You got to give it a good press at work.
Oh,
there
you go. I know. I wasn't going to say anything, David, but these are two of Victor Wright. Victor Wright is a local contractor who does work on landmark buildings, and he works with slate and copper mainly, but they can do anything. And his crew had originally cut the hardy-backer board because I cannot afford a diamond-tipped circular saw to cut that kind of cement board material. So they did that, and you can see that there are two halves with a seam down the middle and an area that has not been mosaiced because I didn't want it to show as a seam. And I didn't get a picture. I put a cement board tape and mortar that down, and you start filling in the centerpieces. So these two men, okay, Dave, I'll have to have a signal. Here they're putting a flashing cap on the top to prevent moisture from coming down, getting in behind the mural. And Gordon had offered me some advice when I spoke about this a long time ago that we were going to put copper flashing up, and in fact it's a base metal oxidized flashing, deciding that you don't need to tempt someone into messing up my art just to get a tiny strip of copper. So that will protect. I keep thinking I'm advancing the PowerPoint when I press this. Okay, Dave. So this is me starting out. That's the way the two men left it, Robbie and Ben, who are members of Victor Wright's crew. They screwed it into the building along the molding so there are no real seams that bugs can get up under. And my job then, if you look right here, we have, this is one of the last remaining fire towers. This is the top of M.R.S.A Hill going up into the sky, the highest point in town. And on this side there is a cell tower. I got this off of a picture taken back in the 70s that I found online. I've been on the fire tower, but I couldn't remember how it was built. And so I found a picture. Well, now there are 3 towers up there, but we'll just say this is a historic building, so this is a historic presentation of the top of M.R.S.A Hill. So here I'm mixing grout, and I have to tell you, it's a long step from here up to there. And I had to make it a number of times, and I was hoping nobody was driving by because I felt very awkward crawling around. Okay, Dave. So here I'm filling in the areas that were empty, and the letter C has big strips of painter's tape over it because that's a big piece that's all done on mesh, and then that's holding it so the mortar can set. Okay? This is a detail. This is while it's still on my table at home, and you can see there's a little airplane, and then I later added some ball chain to connect it like it's dragging a banner of Waterboro in M.R.S.A colors. So that's a little detail, and they're here and there all throughout. Okay. Then, since you never know what you're going to run into or find at a library, I have a fused glass spaceship, and these little characters are coming down into the library are called facians because they're space faces, so they're facians. And you can see there's a lot of bear, hardy backer there. There's a gull because occasionally we do find gulls flying around town when the wind is right or their mood is right. And to the right, this is one of the clay tiles that 2 middle school boys made. It says fly, and the fly has, the letters have been made black now. Okay. So this is the end of the first day, and I'm feeling like the queen of the world because that was a lot of work, and it didn't look like much space to fill in, but doing it, I just finished 10 sessions of physical therapy from my shoulders, and here I am doing all this above my head work, and my shoulders aren't hurting at all. So thank you, Hayes, at M.R.S.A Fitness. All right, so that's the end of day 1, and day 2 has me grouting. It's a cooler, windier day. I was going to do it Sunday, but they predicted 90% chance of rain, so I moved it up to Saturday. And the rain clouds were coming toward me as I worked because it came a lot earlier than they expected. So I'm grouting madly. I've got a rubber glove on here, and I just take glops of grout and fit them in among all the pieces. Okay? And I get all the way up to the top. So there now you can see the fire tower and the cell tower, and I grout gray all the way up to the top. And Jack, who is not terribly sensate, doesn't notice a lot of things about color, says the letter C doesn't look as dark as the other letters. And I had forgotten that I had taped the letters and grouted them all in black so they'd really show up. And now I have grouted the C in gray. Well, recently on Facebook, a group of mosaic people were talking about what happens when you grout something and you don't like what it looks like. And someone said, well, just grout over it. So this had not finished curing it all. So here I am putting fresh grout on top of it. So I'm in the middle now of making the C fit in. Okay, Dave. And it worked. I was afraid when it rained that night the black might all wash off, but it seems to have stayed up there so far. And this week I'll go down and put grout sealer on that middle section. And then it will be already, I've got the plans. The way it's going to go is it'll start at the bottom right-hand side of the door in spring. Then there'll be the lake in summer with loon and kayak and various watercraft, somebody fishing. And then summer up at the top of the right-hand side. Autumn at the top of the left side, into winter on the lake with snowmobile, ice shacks, various things that happen on the lake that in the winter, and then at the very bottom, winter. And there'll probably be sections on both sides where little kids can look in a mirror, and I'll have some kind of a funny face, and when they look in the mirror, they'll have funny ears and something. But I'm hoping to do quite a bit of work with the elementary and middle schoolers again this year. And to me, this is all about celebrating this town, celebrating the community. We have a lot of things that we fight about, a lot of things we don't agree with, and a lot of struggles. And we don't have much of any public art. And I guess what I'd like to do is to see if I could get a grant and maybe get paid a little bit for my time and labor. But I don't want to compete with the town in any way, so Gary and I can talk about that. Where I would go to try to find money. But I'd like to do more than this in the future. I'd like to see something at the transfer station, maybe the building next to the hopper, and trying to tell people why they should think before they throw stuff in the hopper, and maybe you should go over on the other side. But that's kind of down the road. So I see this as part of my retirement career, in a way, is doing more public art. But it does come, when Tammy Jo said it comes out of love, it comes out of love for being part of a town and being able to be engaged in the town and making this library the jewel that it is and showing it on the outside, as well as how people who come inside of it see how much it is inside. Because we have painted murals inside. Come on an open time to see it, so you can come inside and see how beautiful the children's room is. And that's all local high schoolers and homeschoolers who paint those murals. So, that's my spiel.
Well, Bridget, I think you did a spectacular job. I think that's something that the town can be very proud to have on our building. So thank you very much.
And it was a real personal challenge to do something that I'm not professional at in a very public way. And I had to go through a lot of my own inner barriers to everybody's going to think I look stupid. So just in case anybody out there is thinking of trying to do something creative and having your own inner blocks, I'm rather proud of this, and I'm happy that I did it. I learned a lot, and I think it also gave a lot of gifts back to me. So you're welcome.
Oh.
Bridget, when I look at art and I look at a Picasso, to me that's kind of stupid. I mean, you have ear over here and an eye up here. I mean, it's all mismatched. But that right there is, everything is recognizable. You can tell that there's an extremely great deal of work that you put into that. And I think it came out really wonderful.
I appreciate that.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay. We have no appointments this evening. Hearing delegation. Anybody from the public like to be heard? Okay. Correspondence in our packets. We have the treasurer's report. We have information on the Big Brothers Big Sisters fundraiser, the ChainReaction. We have community forum information for Goodall Hospital and Southern Maine Medical Center. We have the Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission newsletter and the EcoMaine recycling reports. Reports and staff initiatives, the Assessors Agent, and we'll discuss vote on abatement request. Jerry, it's all yours.
We have some, Madam Chairman, members of the board, you should have in your package, you want me to go through them one at a time? There are going to be I
first-
did identify them.
The first three are the same issue, right? The computer
Right, number
issue?
13 is new.
So how about I move that we accept dash 11, 12, 10, 11, and 12
Is there-
as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay.
14-13 is an abatement request due to an error that was done by our office, actually my office. And what happened is, looking at permit files, we picked up 2 dormers that had already been installed and were part of the revaluation figure. And therefore, an error was made, and the assessment for this property ought to be corrected, and an adjustment in the abatement of $428.30.
Any questions on this one?
Move that we accept the recommendation
Second.
on this.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? So that's 14-13.
14-14, 14-15, 14-16 are due to computer failure that we had during the 2014 building.
So move to accept 14, 14, 15, and 16.
Second.
Any discussion?
Only one, Jerry, is
Oh.
the first one is someone that we've dealt with before. This went back to something that, we've had many discussions with this person about whether or not we double billed them and everything. So this fixes that. So it didn't go all the way back by the looks of it, but
It went back to the time before we were discussing
before we
values.
abated it, before we, yeah. Okay.
We're okay with this abatement to bring us back to normal.
Still in discussion?
Yep.
Is there any, would it be possible to amend, for him to amend his motion to include 18 and 19 as well? Is there the same computer error situation?
18 may not be.
No, 18 isn't, but I said 19 and 20.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
These also computer glitches?
Yeah,
Yes,
I would be amenable to add 19 and 20 due to the computer issue to my original motion. I'm sorry, I missed the fact that there were a couple more computer glitches, but
So you
So-
amended your motion. David, would you amend the second or approve the second?
So we, the motion, the first one is 14, right?
14, 15, 16, and we're gonna add 19 and 20 to it. Which are all the computer, due to the computer glitch.
Okay, I agree.
Okay, so all those in favor? So that leaves us with 17 and 18.
Number 17, not number 17, I should say, is a new, this was brought to light, I kind of thought it was part of the computer glitch, but as we started talking and reviewing, we discovered that the gentleman was being assessed for a full basement in a neighborhood that has no basements. It's the over 55 area. They're all slabs. There was a key punch. We hit a 4 instead of a 3, that kind of thing. And it stayed there until the gentleman came in and asked the question. The correction for the error, of course, it's been paid for 5 years, but I described to him what the law says as far as going back. So I'm recommending that we go back to 3 years. This will cover some of the damage that he suffered from having to pay for a basement. Therefore, the total abatement on this one, although it's broken down for 3 years, is $518.94.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of 1418? Excuse me, that was 1417.
Yeah, 14.
Now we're 1418.
Yes. This is a new one as well. This one was a homestead exemption that was approved. The application was in the House, but for some reason, we can't find where in Trio it landed. It did not land on this account, so therefore, we need to restore this one, which is a $10,000 homestead. And that abatement is $136.40.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. And that should score
That
us.
should, yeah, we're back to the computer. If I may, an update on the computer error. I discussed this with Dave, a tech guy behind the cameras. It looks like we might be able to restore the entire assessed valuation for 2014. He needs a date when that I feel that is safe. We set the tax rate on 8/13, and at that time things were great. And then we began approving the company Portland to print the bills, and that began sometime in the end of August, 8/27, 8/29, something like that. So somewhere in there, we think we're going to land and pick a tape or some sort of discussion with Trio, and Dave's going to do that for me. And then we'll restore the valuation as it was prior to the, quote, computer fiasco. And that's the end of my talk.
Okay, any questions for Jerry? Thank you, Jerry.
Have we identified how that occurred yet?
No, we know what's happening because we've had 3 weeks of this. What's happening is it's going back and restoring old valuations all the way back to the reval indiscriminately. And so when I'm done, I'll be able to say which years were affected the most. But right now, it hits 07. It might hit 2011, 2013, but they are reserved to change accounts. So it's not a massive thing. It's just it would change accounts over the years is enough, but that's what it's doing.
I just think Trio needs to fix that.
We're going to be doing that. Now that we've identified what it's doing, we're going to try to find the time when we can trust the values as they were when we set the rate. Next week I may have more information. We'll have more abatements next week.
Probably going to be a while before we catch up on all these ones.
Next week might start the other stuff,
Downhill. Good. Okay. Thank you, Jerry. Moving on, Selectmen's reports. We'll start with David.
I really don't have anything to report. I do think we need, though, to look at our recycling rate. It seems to be hovering around 16, 17%, and somehow we need to boost that up.
Okay. John?
Actually, David, that was I had written down that as one of my goals for tomorrow night, so I'm with you. I have nothing.
Dennis?
I'm going to default my time to the chairman of the transfer station committee, because we did discuss and vote on the handling of commercial haulers permitting last night at the transfer station meeting, so
Okay.
Dwayne.
You want to hold up a sec? We'll do Gordon and me, and then we'll go
Sure.
to Dwayne. Gordon?
I attended a somewhat truncated meeting of the Old Home Days Committee. Myself and Dwayne were the only two there. For some reason, neither of us received notification that afternoon that the meeting had been postponed. So we took it upon ourselves to brainstorm for, I don't know, about a half an hour. And I think we actually came up with some fairly good ideas on how we'd like to, see things go. And we'll certainly bring that up to the full body at a time when we can collectively, I guess, get together without a communications glitch. So we kind of, like I say, sat in the dark over there, which I thought was appropriate too, because we've been in the dark all afternoon, I guess, and kind of, hash things out. And we decided, well, that's it, we're gonna leave. So,
Anything else?
no, it's a
right.
pure dedication of it. Yep.
I attended the road review committee on the 11th. They are working on a new driveway ordinance. Hopefully they're gonna have that ready within the next couple of weeks or so and get that before the planning board. They wanna have a discussion with the planning board on that. They were hoping, I think, to go to an October meeting, but I think they're putting that off now till November. Doug's schedule is not making it very easy for him and Nancy to get together and work that out. Todd also had been, Todd Abbott stopped in with the GPS unit. Unfortunately, there wasn't anybody from the road review committee that was going to be able to get out the next day and use the unit. Most of them are working or have other commitments. It's unfortunate. They were really hoping that they could utilize it, but it just wasn't going to work. And having it for one day wouldn't really have allowed them to do anything more productive than learn how to use it, because it is going to be quite a task to find some of these old culverts and whatnot. Some of them are pretty well buried, and they're going to need to get the metal detectors out to find them and whatnot. So I think when it comes time to discuss budget, they may be interested in looking at renting or even looking at purchasing something that they can do some work with. So, Dwayne, you want to talk about the transfer station committee?
There was also lightning the next day too, so nobody wanted to be out there with that pole.
The transfer,
Doing the Ben Franklin with the key.
the transfer station committee met last night because there were some options presented to us on how to deal with commercial haulers. After discussing everything we had on the table, we decided by unanimous vote that it was in the best interest of taxpayers just to leave everything as it is for now, because the other options just really weren't viable. And that's our recommendation to the selectmen and town manager.
Okay. Any questions, Dwayne? Pretty easy. Thank you. Okay, moving on, town administrator's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minor correction, I had announced that the forum at the fire department concerning the Southern Maine Medical and HT Goodall merger was a wide open public forum like what's been in the newspapers, and that's not the case. This was a WAB, Waterboro Association of Business meeting that was called. I think the selectmen and some other folks are invited to that. It's a fairly small venue, so that's not an open public forum. If you want to know any other information, just call Kerry DeAngelis, please, at 247-0273. She knows more about this forum than I do. I met with the auditor last week. I had not met the gentleman who does our audit, and I had some good interactions with him, and those will continue as we go through the process here. He's done most of the field work now, and I don't have any problems to report at this time. Legal issues, discussions continue over Machado Thornton situation, and I spoke with Heather and Tony this evening, and we should have a memo from the town attorney by quitting time tomorrow so that you could actually perhaps make a vote a week from tonight on this issue and how to go, where to go from here. I spoke with the Maine Public Employees Retirement System, used to be called Maine State Retirement System, about becoming a customer. There's a July 1 and the January 1st sign-up date. Those are the only two times that a community can join that system. I had a large email today with 7 documents I think I need to print out and review and then get back to you more at a later date. Town Hall staff has been meeting every 2 to 3 weeks. I started department head meetings. We've had 1, and we're going to try and have those every 2 weeks also, as needed. On alternate weeks, department head meetings will be at the fire station. Town Hall staff meetings will be here in this room at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, an hour before we open. Health insurance is a pet peeve of mine, especially since I use myself as an example, myself and my wife. It costs this community over $17,000 for the health insurance for myself and my wife. And the town's paying $9,000 of that, which is a lot of money. But I'm going to do what I can over the next few years to stay on top of this and see if there's a way that we can reduce our costs. And one way may be down the road of a large deductible and then a fund that pays those out-of-pocket expenses back to the employee and still saves the town some money. So that's something that we'll look at over time. And I know you folks have looked at this, I think, just about a year ago, but it's certainly something that's changing almost daily. And I believe that's it from me. Thank you.
Yeah, have a conversation with Art Britt into EcoMaine, because they've just switched the entire.
They went to the high
They went to large
deductible.
deductible.
Right.
Becomes you have to bring in a health agency that does training and whatnot, and the employees have to participate in that, and they get a further reduction and all of that kind of stuff. So they tried to make all of the employees whole by making that switch.
Yep.
So
The bad thing is about that plan with MMA is that you can't have other options. When you go to that high deductible plan, right now we have 3 plans available to staff. If you go with that high deductible one, that's the only plan you can have. So,
Do we know yet what impact Obamacare is gonna have on insurance, health insurance costs?
other than going up, I don't. I mean, that's, some of the definitions of the terms in the legislation haven't even been defined yet, so that's something that's gonna be a couple of years just working out the bugs.
the other thing, Gary, it's number 4. So we have an obligation to you for Maine.
I'd like to stay with them. Been with them for a while, so.
And if we're not into that, I guess that we gotta at least, I would guess if we do join January 1st, then there's a 6 months here that I'm not sure where we're putting the contribution.
You aren't making one yet,
Well, it should be being made.
so,
right?
yes,
So,
we can settle that.
Okay.
And this would not be just for me. If we
Right,
sign up,
understand.
it would be available to all employees.
Anything else, Gary?
No, thank you.
All right, good. Moving on, new business, discuss vote on a committee appointment. We had an appointment this evening with Rebecca Higgins, who's looking to serve on the budget committee. Would entertain a motion
So moved.
to
Second.
put her on the,
Yes.
seconded by John. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, so Christina, can you contact her and we'll get her set up with an email account and whatnot? Moving on, under old business, discuss consent agreement. I think Gary's already represented tonight that we really don't have any new information for this evening. We're hopefully gonna have something from Natalie's office tomorrow that'll allow us to have a further discussion next week.
So can we assume next week will be a vote on this, one way or the other?
We hope.
We hope.
but don't leave here tonight making that assumption.
What's that?
Don't leave here tonight making the assumption that we will vote next week. It really depends on legal advice, right? So,
Discussion at least,
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay, well, as you know, I mean, we've been doing this a long time, so we're
Yeah.
just looking to get a vote as soon as we can, so. All right.
We'd like to get it wrapped up too.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Next is a motion to approve the minutes of the September 17th regular meeting.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor? And one abstention. Pending decisions, discuss making policy changes relative to the use of social media. That's with the attorney still?
Yes.
Okay. Town charter change to establish Public Works Department. David,
Still
still working
working,
on that, okay? The week's action list. Make sure everybody signs the abatements, and Christina will get in touch with Rebecca, and we'll still be waiting to hear from Natalie on the consent agreement.
I do have a question. You okay with me continuing to send legal notes like this via email?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. If,
No problem.
if it becomes of a sensitive nature and you want the hard copy and not on the email, just let me know.
Discussion of it.
Either way, it's,
Client attorney privilege,
Right.
so it's not,
so it's not,
not public information.
As long as we're not generating discussions.
unless you think there's a risk
I
associated.
don't with this, no.
Okay.
When I get it beforehand, I have a chance to think of what you say. When you give it to me here, personally, when I'm listening and following on, it fills in some of the gaps that I might miss in hearing. So it's good to see what you wrote down and as you,
What are you talking about, this?
yeah, or maybe
Okay.
I'm off topic here.
I was talking about legal memos from the town.
Oh, legal memos,
Sorry.
unless they're super sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know that. I mean, you know what, anything that goes over computer is, can be hacked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in most cases, fine, but in some cases, maybe it's, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
Just so you know, there is encryption on the mail server you're logging in using SSL. You should all have that checked. So if you're going between the rack space accounts, there is a level of encryption within that. Nothing's infallible, but
Yep.
it's a lot harder to deal with it.
Okay. Agenda items for next week, we'll have a discussion on the consent agreement. The town charter also requires that the town administrator have residency in the town of Waterboro unless the selectmen vote to approve other. So I think we need to have that on the agenda and get that squared up next week. So we'll have that for a discuss and a vote. What else? Do we have anything else next week?
5:30 executive
Well, wait a minute.
session.
There's a beautiful house for sale. In Waterbury. $1 million even, right?
I just got mine painted.
Great resale. So we have the 5:30 executive sessions for 3 interviews next week for committee applicants. And what else? Do we have anything else for next week?
That's all I can think of.
Okay.
I'd like to add, this, ladder auto sales, which has received a letter stating that it is a nuisance and unsafe structure. And, I'd like to have the CEO in here and get this thing moving.
What's that on, David?
It's called LADA, L-A-D-A, Auto Sales. It's basically an automobile junkyard with a...
Yeah, I've spoken to him about that, because I've been receiving complaints about it as well, and I talked to him.
Okay.
Mark can give us
deteriorating-
status check.
Okay. Anything else for next week? No? Okay. Discuss, items needing signature are the minutes of September 17th and the abatements. Reminders, Wednesday, September 25th at 5 p.m. is the goals workshop for the Selectmen here at the Town Hall. Thursday, September 26th at 11:30 a.m. is the senior luncheon at the Snowmobile Club. Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. is the Library Board of Trustees at the library. Friday, September 27th at the Old Town Hall is the Old Home Days Committee at 6 p.m. Saturday, September 28th at 8:30 a.m. is the Cribbage Tournament at the Old Town Hall. Tuesday, October 1st at 6 p.m. is the Selectmen's meeting, and reporting will be the Old Home Days Committee, Parks and Rec, and the Parks and Rec Committee. October 2nd on Wednesday is the Planning Board at the Town Hall at 7 p.m. Thursday, October 3rd at 5 p.m. is the Conservation Commission at the Old Town Hall. Thursday, October 3rd at 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. is the Jensen Municipal Client Seminar at the Doubletree Hotel in South Portland. Hopefully everybody got their attending rosters to Christina. Monday, October 7th at 5 p.m. is the Community Garden Committee at the Old Town Hall. And Tuesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. is the Selectmen's meeting. Reporting will be the Saco River Community TV and Cable TV Committee. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to a workshop to review
Could I
town tax club property.
mention something just
Oh,
before?
sure.
Former Fire Chief Elias Smith died this past Thursday, I believe. There's going to be a funeral Thursday morning at 10 o'clock at the Alfred Community Church. So anybody that wishes to pay their respects. Also, I think Wednesday evening, 6 to 8. Forgot where.
Is it
Autumn Green.
Autumn Green?
Autumn Green.
In Alfred.
Yes, you pay your respects to the family.
And could I ask a question? Gary, do you know, when is that meeting with, that Lee Burnett is holding on? Is that in October?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that I have that date set in my computer. Did he pick a date?
It's on the email, I'll go back and look at it.
Did he pick a date, or did he just say we're ready to have a meeting?
This is something somebody else sent or something like that.
Oh, you know what? He brought a flyer in today, and he posted it on the bulletin board out here.
Yes, he did.
I wonder if that's what it is.
Maybe I'll
Let's go
look.
check after. I was thinking of two different meetings. I was thinking of one here.
Okay, anything else? So a motion to adjourn to go into workshop?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
John, all those in favor? Okay,